This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.
Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you very much. I hope that you're not watching on Rumble because if you're watching on Rumble, you can't see this shit because I didn't set it up properly because I'm a dumbass. Boo, 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 whoopsie daisy. I'm like, why isn't it? How come I can't? I didn't do it right. And I'm very sorry about that. If you wanted to check me out on Rumble, I don't think I can get it done today, unfortunately. No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like it won't be live on Rumble, even though I advertised it that way. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Oh, boy. No, it says they're viewing. Oh, God. I suck. Big time boomer parrot head. Big time. That was a huge error on my part. I'm trying to refresh it. Like, why? Rumble's a little different sometimes. Oh my God. Whoopsie. Can I add a destination? Oh, I can still add a destination. Well, let's let those let's give those Rumble fans a chance here. It's going to take me a moment to figure that out. So if you were hoping for Rumble, just hang out with me on YouTube while I live do. I'm an idiot. Okay. Well, I hope you guys are doing well. It is Thursday. And it's the MFer Podcast. Sorry, I suck so much. All right. There we go. Rumble 2. Okay, hopefully now it's live on Rumble. Let's see. I suck. I'm sorry. All right. Not quite yet, but hopefully soon. Anyway, it's MFer Podcast, guys. How you doing today? I hope you're doing well. It's Thursday. It's the 34th episode. I had a fun week. I had a very fun week. I made a sketch on Monday. I don't know if you haven't seen it. If you have, thanks for watching. If you haven't, I recommend it. It's super fun. I've been trying to push out more scripted content. I put that one out. I just shot it kind of like on a whim. Like I've been wanting to do like sketch ideas, but this one I was like, all right, let's just go figure this out. Went to the park and made that one work and put it out. And it was doing like, okay, like not great, like pretty typical. And I was like, no, fuck this. I put work into this one. So I like went on Twitter and like hand marketed it. Like I just went to people and mentioned them like, watch, check it out. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And for whatever reason, that kickstarted the algorithm, and that video is actually doing pretty well. 2,000 views, which is for me and my channel, fucking terrific. I'm very happy about that. So I'm going to keep bringing you more scripted content. I think it's pretty fun, relevant, topical, kind of, funny, obviously. Me and my friend here in Austin shot another one last night that I think is super fun. So keep a lookout on that. I'm going to try to bring it out on Monday, but no guarantees on that. There's a lot more editing involved. This one was really just kind of chopping up the takes and stitching it together. The one we shot last night is like a full-on scripted thing with multiple angles and coverage and editing, and it's going to take a lot more time. I would love to have it out on Monday. No guarantees. No guarantees. They say the first step to admit is to admit you have a problem. I confess. I suck at YouTube. I'm very bad. I apologize, but I hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great friggin' day. Are we finally live on goddamn Rumble? Okay, good. Jesus. Goddamn. Horrible start. Terrible start. Sorry. Just tripped out the gate, face planted. No chance for a gold medal. Just hope you finish the race at this point. Just hope you finish the race. Yeah. I did something yesterday I'd never done before, but I've heard a lot about. So I go to a gym. I go to a rock climbing gym here in Austin, Texas, which I know totally like hipstery, like urban fairy kind of thing to do. But I think it's super fun. If you have any interest in rock climbing, I definitely recommend it. It's a really fun sport. It's different, and it kind of has like a playful feel. So it's like, even though you're like, working out, it kind of reminds you of being a kid. And so there's like strategy that you have to employ when you climb up the walls. Like, it's not just go climb. It's hard. It's really hard. And it like stretches, like you really get your finger strength, your hand strength, your forearm strength, which I didn't realize was like weak until I'm like, I can't hold on. And I'm watching these skinny, scrawny little dudes like just gripping the wall with their fingers and climb. I'm just like, wow, that is incredible. So I really got into that. And the other thing this gym has, which is rad, is a sauna. So I've been trying to sauna more. It's supposed to be super healthy, cleanse the toxins. I try to cleanse toxins as often as I can. I cleanse them right out of my system. But they just recently introduced a cold plunge, and I have never done that before. And I did it yesterday, and ooh doggy, is that an experience? I've been like trying to take like cold showers. They say that's good for you. You should take a cold shower, and it kind of like invigorates you. It's supposed to be healthy, helps your immune system, helps your overall health. Allegedly, that's what I've heard. So I've been trying to do that. So I did the cold plunge yesterday. Holy shit. That was insane. Like, it's so cold. It hurts. It literally stings. It burns. It's like, it feels like your entire body is being stabbed with knives. I don't know how long I lasted, but I don't even think it was 30 seconds. It said the limit is 3 minutes. Like, that's as long as you're allowed to stay into that cold plunge. But I mean, I barely lasted 10, 15 seconds. It was absolutely brutal. Brutal. I was just like, it sucked. But it was like dope. Like when you get out, you get like this rush of endorphins. Like, you feel like super healthy. I mean, the water was literally like 46 or 47 degrees, something like that. I mean, it's like brutally cold, brutal. But that was a fun experience. That was a new one I've never done before. Yeah. I've been trying to be healthier, trying to keep my life a little bit more together. I'm not drinking for the month of October. Although, like, immediately out the gate, I fucked it up. I wasn't keeping track of the dates, and I didn't realize that Sunday was, like, the first. So I went out and, like, watched football and got loaded. And then the next day I was at work, and I was, like, checking my watch, and it was, like, October 2nd. I was like, the 2nd? Oh, for Christ's sake. I wasn't supposed to drink. And I did. And I got smashed. I got schnackered. Like a dumbass. But since then I've been sober, which has been interesting. I don't know how much y'all drink. I drink quite a bit. and I have for like a while. And so like just stopping hard stop on something that you do quite a lot is like dramatic, but overall feeling healthier, sleeping better, sleeping more. Like was it 2 nights ago? I went to bed at like 10:30, which is like that's crazy. I never do that ever because I work at night for the most part. Generally, I don't even get to bed 1 o'clock is early for me. So I got to bed like 10:30. I slept like 9-10 hours. Like a healthy person. It was really something else. So I'll keep you updated on my sober October journey. It's I don't know. It seems like it's going pretty good. I feel better. I feel like less of a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. What do we got going on today in the news? Lots of stuff, right? Lots of good stuff, right? Let me see here. This is hilarious. Really something else too. I think it's interesting. I was listening to Carl Benjamin's Lotus Eaters yesterday. He's got like I guess he has like a website called like lotuseaters.com where he puts out a lot of his content there. And he doesn't do like a lot of public YouTube. I personally am not a huge fan of that. I don't mind people with paywall stuff. I get it. The Daily Wire, Anthony Cumia does it. Lots of people do it. I understand that. I respect it. But I don't know, man. Like there are so many streaming services and so many different ways to get content, especially when it comes to something like that's podcast or news-based sort of thing. Like, I don't know, putting everything behind a paywall. What's up, Horny Alf? What's up, Thoth? Good to see y'all. Putting everything behind a paywall, I just feel like is bad business. Like, I don't know. Like, I want to be able to like interact with it. And then if I want more, go to your pay service. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to only pay for like, it's like podcasting, especially or news stuff like that, because there's so much other avenues out there for podcasting, for watching content. Like, there's so many different, news podcasts, sports podcasts, comedy podcasts, live streaming YouTubers. There's so many options that if you put yourself behind a paywall, like I will just forget about you. And I know that's like kind of shitty. And I really like Carl Benjamin, but I don't know, like I want to be incentivized into paying for your content, not like restricted from seeing it if I don't pay for it, Like when it's something like Netflix or HBO, it's a little bit more reasonable, right? Because there's almost certainly going to be at least movies I know and love, that I can rewatch. But then there's going to be a library of other content. Now, I know these other services say they offer that, but it's not the same. And we all know that. So I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of doing it like that personally. But I was listening to him talk about this particular issue, which I like about like leftist ideology and how it changes when it comes to your doorstep. Like a lot of leftist ideology, I think, comes out of this sort of perceived view or this sort of how you idealize view or how it sounds nice and this, that, and the other, but doesn't actually deal with the hard and fast reality. Well, I think it was DeSantis that got this going, but it is sure changing. We've got a few stories here that are related to this. So Chicago migrants crammed on sidewalk with belongings after being locked out of police station. So this is going on in Chicago. It seems like, whoa. Oh, this is them getting on to the border. Dude, people do not understand the Pandora's box that they're opening with having this open border. Like I was watching a video the other day and it was people from like Ghana. It's not just all these dreamers, from these underprivileged. I mean, it is, but it's also like, it's now going to be the whole world. If you're just going to let everyone in, it's like, of course they're going to come here for more opportunity. Everyone would. It's like, but then if you let everyone in, then the opportunities are gone and it's not the country that it is. Like there has to be a system. Every country, like the history of the country, the world has had borders and border patrol. It's crazy that this is some sort of like, aggressive right-wing stance to have a fucking border. Hello, Man of War. Can I pay you more to show me less? How dare you? You love my content. You're a big fan. That's just not true, man of war. I won't believe that you believe that. I refuse. But this, I guess, is going on in Chicago now. Some migrants in Chicago were locked out of a police station where they were being housed as they gathered on a crowded sidewalk Wednesday with all their belongings. The city was preparing for more arrivals. Because for years, it was the border states. And now these border states have had enough, and they are bringing all these migrants to the doorstep of the people who also smugly look down at these red states who happen to have a problem with it. Shelters are currently housing more than 9,800 migrants. Another 3,000 are waiting to be placed somewhere. More than 17,000 migrants have come to Chicago since last August. Like this past August or like a year ago August? Like there's a lot of military-aged men in this picture here. A lot of military-aged men. I don't know how that helps the country in a lot of different ways. Texas hat. Yep, sure he got that on his way up. Many have been bused from Texas as part of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's plan to relocate migrants from border towns to so-called sanctuary cities, which is brilliant. Enough's enough. You want to take them? Go ahead. Take them. Go ahead. All these states need to get destroyed because you can't take in. You like have to. You got to look good with your policies. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. So this is happening. This is going on in Chicago, right? Okay. Well, this is also another story from today that just came out. This is from the Daily Mail. Hail, Morgan Holloway. Good to see you, sir. Ma'am. Good to see you, ma'am. Excuse me. This is, God damn it. NYC Mayor Eric Adams goes to Mexico to tell migrants that the Big Apple is at capacity after 122,000 arrived last year. Isn't that interesting? That was a quick change of tone. Real fast turnaround. Oh, suddenly when it's your problem, you do recognize that it's an issue. But when you get to look good in front of all your social elite friends, oh, well, it's just all these rednecks and fools down in these border states, huh? Yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. Also, it's not just Mexico, Eric Adams. It's a lot more. It's all of South America. It's Africa. It's probably going to be the Middle East as well, which is great because they love us. So I'm sure they wouldn't slip in some terrorists with all these dreamers. Eric Adams arrived in Mexico City in a bid to dissuade migrants from making their way to the Big Apple. New York City is buckling under the strain of the influx, with the cost of the accommodation set to tip $4.7 billion. Almost like if you let in a bunch of people who can't contribute tax money and you have to just house them. Oh, it's like a giant expense that you don't have. Pretty amazing. Morgan Holloway, I got a notification from Rumble about your stream, but not YouTube, of fucking course. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess the YouTube algorithm favored me on my sketch, which I was glad to see. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Forward apologizing for the Pride Raptor. Hello, Papa Cotton. But yeah, they don't always treat me with the best respect. I don't know. I say too much edgy bass shit, man, and YouTube can't handle it. They can't handle my aggressive insight. So Adams' tour to discourage migrants is in stark contrast. It's supposed to be contrast. It's a stark contract to August 2020 when he traveled to Port Authority to welcome them and said he's proud to be a shelter state. Yeah, that changed real fast in a year. He now flying to Mexico and be like, hey, actually not necessarily the best thing for us or the country, or we understand you're dispossessed, but actually take it up with your own leaders because it is their responsibility at the end of the day. So, especially in a place like Mexico. I learned this from Mr. Razorfist, whom I love. Apparently, Mexico is incredibly resource rich, natural resource rich. They have like a big oil reserves. It's just an incredibly corrupt country that like won't let their own people thrive. Like, it was really fascinating. You should go watch Razorfist's video on this. It's one of his most popular videos, and it was really like kind of what's the word? Like more compassionate Is that the right word? More gentle. It's more like the gentle side of Razor Fist. But it was just a different angle than normal. And his whole angle was just like, it's not that whether we should let people in. It's that you think Mexico should be poor. And that's just not the case. And that was really fascinating. Papa Cotton says, you don't say anything out of the normie, Matt. No, I'm edgy. I'm very edgy, Papa. I say all kinds of things. Whoa, I blow your mind every stream. You can't even handle this. Too much. Too much. Yes, check out the Pride Ford Raptor sketch if you haven't seen it. Please do. I think it's really funny. And there's another one coming. I was just saying. I worked on another one last night. This one's a bigger operation. There's more actors involved. It's a bigger production, but it's coming. More content, more sketches. Hope you love them. Hope you watch them. So basically, yeah, it's like this is an untenable situation. Obviously, anyone with a fucking brain did tell you that. You just chose not to. You just chose not to acknowledge them. You're just like, no, that's racist. You know, you hate Mexicans. Blah 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 blah. And then it's like, I mean, literally within a year of DeSantis and Governor Abbott bringing them into these like sanctuary cities and all these like, you know, liberal havens, these utopias, these leftist utopias, boy, did they change their tone real quick, real fucking quick. And they changed it so much that the president, Joseph Brain Dead Biden, is building a border wall. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? For 8 years, the entire fucking campaign of Trump, the entire presidency, all we heard was it's fucking racist and how dare you and the border and like build the wall and this like right-wing rhetoric, da-da-da-da-da. Bam. The second it affects liberal cities, everything fucking changes immediately. Do you believe this shit? Parrothead says Biden isn't building the wall. Abbott is. Well, let's read and let's find out. The Biden administration has made a stunning reversal in migration policy by revealing it will build 20 miles of border wall to try and combat the latest surge of migrant crossings. Like, that was Trump's rallying cry for years. Build the wall. That's all he was saying, and everyone mocked him for it. Everyone teased like all this. It's like I like I can't make this shit up. It's insane. Man of War. Matt is Howard confirmed. I've seen him chase Flintstones chewables with not one but 2 ecto coolers. Hey, listen, take it easy, okay? Stop airing out my dirty laundry. But what? In the shock announcement of Wednesday night, the Department of Homeland Security said it's waiving 26 federal laws to start constructing a new physical barrier that was started under Donald Trump. Like he knew what he was talking about. Like it was the right call. Oh my God. The Biden White House has consistently slammed Trump's tough migration policy and even canceled the wall construction when Biden took office. On his first day in office, Biden even declared that building a wall wasn't a serious policy solution. But the recent acceleration in migrant crossings and pressure to deal with the crisis has now forced the federal government to change direction. Like, and I'm sure there will be a huge outrage from all the people who hated Trump, all the people with TDS, all the people that were losing their minds about how racist his policy. I'm sure they're all taken to X or Threads or whatever bullshit to voice their outrage, right? To scream and yell and throw a little fit about how racist this is, right? I'm sure we're going to see that. I'm sure that'll be the follow-up. Unfucking believable. Papa Cotton said, a wall won't matter if the gates are open. I did see that video. At the Texas border where they were just letting people in. I was like, well, what's the point? I thought that's why they brought the National Guard down there, to stop the surge of people coming across. I mean, I just, just fucking can't. Just fucking can't. The U-turn comes as Democrat-run cities such as New York and Chicago demand Biden to do more to stop crossings, ending up in their the border crossers, ending up in their communities and straining resources. I mean, literally the second it happened, the moment they got actually affected by this, everyone changed their tune. Everyone. It's just incredible how, like, in our own country, like, you have like a different way of life. And so I can't listen to what you're saying as a serious problem. I can't genuinely be like, oh, that is an issue. No, it's you're from a red state, so therefore your opinion doesn't mean anything. The second it affects them, they're like, build the wall. They're all putting on MAGA hats. Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable. And here he is, Trump talking about the wall in 2020. What a monster he was at the time. Absolute monster. Yeah, I think we get it. Yeah, this is where we're talking. Border security cuts Eagle press past razor wire to let migrants through. I don't understand. This I don't get. Like, what are they doing? I mean, you can't. I'm no policy expert. I'm not even that smart. But I can tell you, this can't continue. You can't just have this influx of unchecked, absolutely no accountability people. There's no social security numbers, no identification, no addresses, just running wild on the country. You can't have that. It's a national security issue. We have a lot of enemies. They're going to sneak people in who want to take from us. That's just pure and simple. Has to be. Ugh. Anyway. Oh, guys, I forgot to mention, you probably shouldn't even be watching, to be completely honest. Hail Critical Kitten 666 on the Rumble side. Hail to you, person. I have no idea what gender a critical kitten would be, but hail. Thanks for watching. But you know what? You shouldn't even be watching, honestly. I'll tell you why. Because there's an emergency meeting episode, number 20, Dystopian Destruction, over on Andrew Tate's channel. Do you know what's crazy, though? Like, I mock. I'm kidding, right? But there are 35,000 people watching Tate's live stream right now. 35,000. Is that not, like, I honestly didn't know he still had that much pull. His Rumble channel has 1.64 million followers. That's quite a few. Quite a few. Let me I want to pop over there and just see what he's saying real quick. I'm just curious. I want to see what Top G's got to say.
Tell you lies. And I'm going to read the chat in 25 seconds from now.
All right. Well, I guess I don't know, but 35 million fucking people. Man of War says you don't need to watch. VW can fill us in later. Sorry, 35,000 people. That's a lot of people that are watching Andrew Tate. I can't believe he still has that much pull, dude. I wonder how many people are like watching it to like mock it or just like report on it. But that is a lot of people to be watching Andrew Tate. I can be honest. I don't think I've ever watched Andrew Tate. Just the clips that we were all forced to see. I don't think I've ever checked any of it out. Small Town Republic. I think Tate is good for sound bites, but when he speaks for long periods of time, I don't get the appeal. No, I don't either. I mean, we watched one video in the cocktail lounge one night, and we're like, this guy's an ass. Like, he's just like clumsy and not cool and thinks he's cool, and he's coming across like such a weirdo. I don't get it. Maybe people identify with like his like, I don't know, like his like rebellious nature, or they're, you know, kind of like the Trump thing, like they're out to get me. So I don't know. I am genuinely confused about that, but all right, well, whatever. So here's a fun story. Let me see here. All right. So I saw this today on the New York Post, which is a great resource if you want to do a live stream. I wouldn't go there for actual news, But if you want fun news to talk about with your listeners on a live stream, I recommend checking it out. Cop recognized as OnlyFans model by subscriber. She pulled over, now facing a probe. This is a true story. This really happened. So I guess a cop in Minneapolis has OnlyFans, which I'm pretty sure is against their rules, and then pulled over someone, and he's just like, I am a subscriber to you. Like, that's pretty awkward.
Well, the man who brought to light the OnlyFans page belonging to a Minneapolis police officer is sharing his story tonight. This came to light a few days ago when he asked a community leader and personal friend if it violated department policy. Fox 9's Karen Scullin joins us now live with an update to this story. Karen?
Well, it was just a few days ago that this man was pulled over for a routine traffic stop, but it didn't take long before he recognized that officer as someone that he's been following on OnlyFans for about 5 months. A simple traffic stop quickly turned into a "where do I know you from" for the Minneapolis man who was pulled over just a few days ago. It took 10 minutes to figure it out. The man spoke to us on the condition of anonymity.
We was doing a little talking and checking, as brothers, we was like, man, she got her OnlyFans page. I'm on her OnlyFans page.
He knew that the 4th Precinct officer was someone that he had been following for 5 months on OnlyFans. He says he's seen her explicit photos and watched her have sex.
You got to go to the VIP when you get to see the videos of her and her I guess husband or whoever that is. They do full sex videos.
We are not yet naming the officer, but it appears she's been running the site that offers.
What the fuck? Not yet naming the officer. I need to do more research on this story. I need to know more. I got to get to the bottom of this one. The bottom of it.
Customized videos, among other
enough.
things, for some time. The police chief says he is investigating to see if MPD policy was violated. Meanwhile, the man who recognized her.
Well, if their precinct didn't know she had an OnlyFans and they hadn't seen it, they're all gonna now. That's gonna blow up and ripple through that precinct real fast. What? Who does? I don't think I've ever worked with anyone that I knew had an OnlyFans. I'm sure that I have come. No, that's not true. Nope, that's not true. I have. I just remembered that I have. A friend of mine that we also worked together, he told me and he showed me, and it was pretty awesome. But other than that, I can't really think of anyone. I used to work a lot in like Hollywood or whatever that they were in like movies, TV shows where they took off their clothes and it was like, kind of public knowledge. So that's a little different. But when I don't know, like that would have to be, I guess it's like, it's public, right? She's putting it out there. It's a little weird of you to do that, but I definitely think like if it was an option, I would probably look into it. It's just out of curiosity. I mean, like that's so appealing, right? I mean, remember like, you're like in school, like all like the beautiful girls around you, like you wanted to see them naked. That was like the best possible thing you could hope to have happen. And then if you can just, oh, that's you, Morgan Holloway. You're Critical Kid. Oh, sick. Right on. And if you could just, pay a few bucks to see it, like, I don't know. I will confess. I will come to Jesus. I have subscribed to a few OnlyFans in the past. And that was mostly during the pandemic because I was bored, as we all were. And I lived in California where I didn't have much else going on. So you just, I don't know, got to pass the time somehow. But I do not currently. I don't really like it. Anytime I did it, I always felt kind of weird and gross about it. But I mean, if it was someone I worked with, I don't know, man. It's pretty tempting. It's a pretty tempting thing. So I don't know. Especially if it's a cop too. I don't know. It's pretty funny.
Says he can't quite look at her the same.
Because you can't arrest me no more. I've seen your private parts.
He says being a
I don't know if that'll hold up in a court of law, but it's an interesting argument.
cop and an OnlyFans model really just doesn't mix.
I wouldn't want her to be arrested me, and I just started hearing your husband last night for $29.99 having sex on OnlyFans.
Now,
I just can't respect that. I wouldn't respect you or the treason that you work with.
I don't know if there's degenerate. Hey, don't judge me or her. Okay, sex work is real work. Low spec. Okay, she's a queen. She's embracing her feminine power, and she's just a working woman. Same as having any other job. Being a teacher or a nurse, showing your pussy on the internet, all the same thing, low spec. Okay? Sex work is real work. How dare you? How dare you? I don't know if there's much more of this story, but it is pretty funny. I think that'd be pretty funny. Get pulled over and be like, Sex Kitten 99? Like, what? Like, what are you doing pulling me over? Who is that guy who tried to judge her? Oh, that would be, I don't know, low spec. I guess low spec was being a misogynist. Ugh. I just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you guys had to witness that. I apologize. Genuinely. Okay, what else we got today? That's kind of funny. This gave me a chuckle. All right, here we go. Danish artist told to repay museum 67,000 euro, I guess that is, after turning in blank canvases. A Danish artist has been ordered to return nearly 500,000 kroner. Okay, $72,000 or 58. Is that euros? Lira? I don't know all these funky symbols. I don't know what they mean. To a museum after giving it 2 blank canvases for a project he named Take the Money and Run. Yeah, that's awesome. That rules. That guy's great. A Kunstein museum in Aalborg, these are all such weird words, had intended for Jens Hanning to embed the banknotes in 2 pieces of art in 2021. Instead, he gave it blank canvases and told dr.dk, the work is that I have taken their money. It's a performance piece. I have taken their money as a statement about the nature of art and the world in which we live in. It's a criticism of big money and big art. So I just kept it and gave you a blank canvas as a statement, as an artistic expression. The court has now ordered him to return the cash, but keep some for expenses. The art project was intended as a statement on salaries in Denmark. I was just kidding, but that's genuinely what he's trying to say. What a tool. The museum asked for the artist to return all the money, around 534,000 krona, but Mr. Hanning refused. Oh, isn't that strange? Got like, it's a comment on salaries. I mean, I'm keeping the money, but you should pay more. Now, after a long legal battle, a Copenhagen court on Monday ordered Mr. Hanning, 58, to refund the museum 492,554 kroner. That figure, it said, was equivalent to the sum the museum had given him, minus the artist fee and the cost of mounting. I think that's dope. Honest to God. I mean, if you want to pay for such pretentious, hollow artwork, I mean, why shouldn't he? Like, this is an artistic statement. Technically, he gave you what you asked for. It's take the money and run. It's a statement on art. He gave it to you. Absolutely brilliant. I agree, Papa Cotton. 100%. 100%. Thor Thaw says all women should have an OnlyFans page. I mean, it's brave and stunning if you do that. You're an empowered woman. Empowered. I mean, I don't want my girlfriend to have one, or like any of my family members, no. But if you do it, you're an empowered, brave woman, and I commend you. I respect you. That is a beautiful thing you're doing. Ugh. That's like the narrative nowadays. I don't know. Small Town Republic. I'm saying the guy that got pulled over who watches porn and suddenly on his high horse. Whatever, dude. What, you don't watch porn? You're judging him? You're looking down on this man? On this soldier out there? Just trying to survive? You're looking down on him, small time? Let he who was without porn cast the first stone. Okay, Mr. Republic. Imagine seeing a new doctor and realize that you know him from the OnlyFans, right? How uncomfortable that would be. It's like, you're at the dentist and your hygienist is like, you're like, I think I know you. I think you owe me a video that I paid for. OnlyFans is for who is. Yeah, it's also permanent. Even though it's protected behind a paywall, those things get out. They get leaked. And then what are you going to, like, capture up every single individual photo? It's kind of like once you've done that forever. I don't know. Hello, emotionally unstable amphibian. Howdy to you. Thank you for being here, sir. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I love that Data Shark guy. That is fucking brilliant. I love that. Good for you. Good for you. Keep it. He should be able to keep the money. He fleeced these pretentious tools. Absolutely. Oh, this is great. Okay. This was like everywhere yesterday too. There was like one of these stories that I saw like on all these different platforms, and basically everyone was kind of dunking on it, which I think is pretty great. So I don't know if y'all heard about this one, but it's okay. Fury as women in tech conference is overrun with men claiming to be non-binary who cut in front of female attendees to network with employers. Yo, game recognized game, dude. That's brilliant. Listen, you've created a system where you've incentivized having an identity that is atypical. So being a man, a straight white man, these are all very bad things. Shouldn't you can't be those. We need to prioritize other identities and marginalized peoples and blah fucking yaddy blah blah, right? So they create these systems where it's like, oh, it's for women. Well, also like, that's not just pure biological women. It's kind of like whoever identifies as a woman. So all these dudes who are like trying to get into this industry, right? They have these degrees, specializations, all these skills, but they can't get seen. They can't like get into these spheres because of all the hiring practices, which basically like, no, you can't be a part of our company because you don't have the right fucking physical features, which is like so goddamn racist. And they're like, okay, well, they're doing this thing for quote women. And then that never means just women. It means like women and then trans women and then non-binary, blah, blah, blah. So all these dudes are just like, all right, fuck it. I'm non-binary. I need a job. I'm non-binary. Let's go. Absolutely brilliant. Female job seekers at a Women in Tech conference have reacted with fury after a number of men crashed a networking event, seemingly taking advantage of the acceptance of non-binary people. Dude, get fucked. Whatever, man. Like, you got to do what you got to do. Get good. The scandal erupted at the Grace Hopper Celebration of Women in Computing in Orlando, Florida, which is among the most lucrative job-finding conventions for young female professionals to meet major tech firms, often right out of college. But this year's summit, held from September 26th to 29th, was swarmed with men also looking to land a big interview with firms like Amazon, Apple, and Google. Yeah, duh. Fucking duh. It makes perfect sense. It's brilliant. I love it. Trump. No. There were all these videos of women like losing their minds. Oh, excuse me? When you're in line to network with a recruiter and GHC and men cut in front of you? Excuse me. I don't think they're men. They don't identify as men. They identify as non-binary. Do you see these women misgendering, these brave soldiers out there? It's unbelievable. I mean, I'm offended. I'm offended on their behalf. Calling them men? Excuse me. There's no men allowed in this conference. They are non-binary. They do not identify with a gender. How dare you? Great. I love it. Get dunked on. Look at all these dudes. It's great. Nobody say I'm competing with men at the Grace Hopper conference. No, you're not. None of these are men. They all identify as non-binary or transgender. So, So great, dude. So great. Also, it's just like the fact that something like this exists. It's like we want the red carpet rolled down for us. We don't want to have any adverse experiences on our way as we just sort of coast down into being like millionaires in tech. It's like no one else has that experience. No one gets that. Like you have to earn it. Everyone has to earn it. I go back and forth. Oh, here we go. Nice.
You can just strut on in here, come right up to my face, and steal a French fry out of my McDonald's bag.
That's the joke. That's what's it. Meh. Oh, here we go.
The competition, but like, I win. Like, keep it a stack.
What the fuck? At least TikToks are awful. Why should I be surprised? But I go back and forth a lot of this because I listen to a lot of women in my life. You know what I mean? Like even my girlfriend talks about having issues at work because like a chick in a male environment. Now, obviously, I'm not there. You know what I mean? I take her word for it. But at the same time, like I hear it a lot, and it's like I never really see it firsthand, even though I hear it all the time. And then sometimes I do see it firsthand and I'm like, no, that's not what happened. Like, for instance, I was at work and it was like one of my first few days at this new job. I've been out there for a few months, right? But I'm like literally in training. And I'm at the bar and the girl who's training me isn't there, but I've been a bartender for like my whole life. So I know how to handle guests. So I'm just talking with the guy and like getting his order, and he asked me about something and blah, 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 whatever. So walk away, I come back, and then my trainer, she comes over and is like kind of like now taking control. Now this dude, he doesn't know that I just started working there, like the guest, he has no idea. So he's like looking at her and looking at me and just kind of like confused, like, should I tell her the order or should I tell him or whatever? And then he like proceeds to give his order, and it's a little obscure, and we're both not entirely sure, and we eventually figure it out, blah, blah, blah. Really nothing, completely harmless. But then I was hearing her retell this story to other people that we work with, like this guy was looking at her as like, oh, can this girl even figure it out? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's not what happened at all. I was looking in his eyes. I was standing right next to you. There was absolutely no sexism involved whatsoever. He was just a little confused because he was talking to me, having a relationship with me, and in the middle of the order, you came over and he didn't know why. That's it. There was no sexism. There was no oppression. You're just putting that on, you're projecting that onto the situation because it's like you're so convinced the world is sexist against you. So any kind of uncomfortable situation with a man or something that's a little awkward, you're now convinced, guaranteed that's sexism. And I know it wasn't. I was standing literally right there. So it's like, I don't know. I think it's really tricky, because I think for a long time I used to act as if, you do treat women like everyone else and treat them, but it's like, you can't do that because the way men interact with other men is a lot different than the way women interact with each other, and a lot different than the way men interact with women. When men treat women like men, they throws them off. They're like, what is that? Like, they don't understand that these are our dynamics. This is how we interact with each other. This is like how we hold each other to a standard. It's just different. It's a very different dynamic. And so it's like, I think when women like experience that, they immediately assume it's sexist, but it's It's not. Like, this is just how we interact. This is just how we discuss things. And you're coming into these environments and expecting these things to, like, us to just change for you. And it's like, well, no, like, that's not how this goes. So I think that's like a lot of like claims of like sexism is a lot of that. It's really just kind of confusion over styles and ways of interacting and having conversations. Because I see it and I'm like, okay, like I hear it from so many different women and I'm like, how come I don't see this? Like if it's so common, right? Shouldn't I have at least seen it or overheard it? Or shouldn't some of these evil patriarchal men have confided in me, you know, as one of the bad guys, right? Shouldn't they have confided something very sexist with me? And I don't ever see this. I never encounter it. But somehow it's so prevalent, every woman experiences it. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there's something else at work here, something else at play. I do believe it exists. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. And there's definitely, you know, creeps and dickheads and guys who just flat out don't respect women. But I don't know. Like, I also think there's as much as like you have to earn respect. It isn't just handed to you because you showed up. Like, you got to earn your place. I don't know. Because now as I'm saying this, it's like, well, I know my girlfriend fucking works super hard. She kills it. And she still says that she gets these interactions. So it's like, it's one of these things I'm like still doing the mental research on. I'm still trying to figure out like, what's the miscommunication here? What is the actual thing going on? Because like, I don't believe it's this widespread anti-woman thing. I just think I just don't see it that way. And I don't think that's how it goes down. Because I don't know. Like, I've been an employer and I hire women if like you do the good job. If you're respectable, you kill. I you know, please work with me. I love it. I've had like female directors that I would follow into battle. Like, you're killing, you know, of course it's like a respect thing. But then I feel like I didn't get like, you know, accolades, you know what I mean? For treating it. So it's like, I don't know, like it's a, I don't know. It's a strange thing. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it because I'm genuinely perplexed about this whole dynamic in our society right now. If you have thoughts, please comment down below. But I'm genuinely curious. Morgan Holloway said, women, especially young women, are so fucking entitled. Heard. That's a fact. The thing is, I think young people in general are entitled. I think I was a pretty entitled young guy. The difference is the world doesn't care if I feel entitled to anything. The world is a vampire. The world like caters, I think, to like young women's feelings of entitlement. And when they cry injustice, everyone rushes to their aid. Instead of just being like, shut up, you little brat. Grow up. Get good. Work harder. Focus. I think that's the significant difference. Because I know that I was entitled. I know that young people in general are kind of entitled. So I just think it's Papa Cotton says, I'm kind of sounding like an incel, Matt. Are you not an ally for women? No, I'm totally an ally. I think the right things. I would never not. I'm an ally. Certainly. Please fucking use your tyranny with all your non-power to extricate me from society and go gossip about me and tell your friends how I didn't say the right thing and I don't have the right opinions. Yeah, right. Powerless. Mm-hmm. Lord Thought, you listen to a lot of women. Actually listen? Wow. I bet you're talking slick on YouTube. I bet you don't talk like that to your woman. I bet you're a very good husband, Lord Thoth. That's my assumption. That's my bet. I bet you do treat your woman quite well. Well, the thing is, like, they're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? I gotta listen to them. And I have like, you know, female friends and shit like that. I am trying to just, because it's like, I hear it so ubiquitously. It's so few women I've met who are just like, no. You know, like I've had like friends that are not like that. And they understand better. They usually interact better. They don't have these problems. But I hear from so many other women that I'm just trying to like get to the bottom of it. Morgan Holloway, jobs should be based on merit. Yeah, 100%. That should be the number one characteristic. I don't know. Women's rights are human rights. Matt, shake my head. Sorry, Papa. I'm letting you down here, buddy. I apologize, man. I didn't mean to disappoint you with my horrible incel takes. Morgan Holloway, all these bitches have sexist tinted glasses. Now that I think is true. I really do think that's true. I think it's, when you're told from such a young age, you go to college, you see things like the fucking Barbie movie. I think, you really start to believe it, and then you start to see it everywhere. Like there was this study I heard about years ago. Well, I don't even know how long ago it was, but there was a study where they had all these people participating in it, and they told them that they were going to give them prosthetic makeup, like scars and stuff like that, to see, and then put them in these job interviews. And they were going to see if, like, the study was trying to determine whether it would affect how often or not often they were hired, right? So they put all this makeup on these people and they set them up with these job interviews to, like, go talk. And then right before they put them in the interview, they're like, oh, let me touch up the makeup. And so when they touched it up, they removed all the scars. So these people are walking into these interviews thinking they still have the scars, but they don't. And then it was an overwhelming majority of the people came back and reported that they felt that they were being discriminated against based on the scars, but they didn't have them. So it's like, it's that perception thing. It's like, if you believe it's out there, you will find it. But it's a lot of it really is just perception. It's not necessarily really there. And it's a pretty interesting one. I don't know how you convince people that like my coworker there, who was so sure, this guy who was just trying to get his order correct and just interacting with the person that he interacted with before, she was so sure he was this misogynist who looked down on women. I'm telling you wasn't the case. I was standing right there. That's not what fucking happened. But I guarantee you couldn't convince her otherwise. Papa Cotton, women compliment each other to their face and don't mean it. Men insult each other to their face and don't mean it. Yep. Pretty fair. I do think like that compliment thing, I think, is a lot to do with it, to be completely honest. Like, I know you're kidding, but I do think that has a lot to do with it. I think if you're like, women lead with so many compliments. I mean, I see every single female interaction opens up with a compliment. They all start like that. And I think like we don't do that. Men don't walk up to, I mean, if it's a particularly cool pair of sneakers or something, yeah, I might say something. But for the most part, I don't just walk up to a dude and be like, yo, nice, great shirt. Oh, your hair looks so good. Cool sunglasses. Like we don't communicate like that. And I think like the fact that we don't and they do in a lot of interactions, I think it like throws them off because there's like girly kind of clicky things, and man, we don't participate in that shit. We just don't. It's just not how we interact. So I think like that really does genuinely like throw them off. I don't know. It's a theory. It's not something I've got concrete hard evidence on, but I think maybe we're just different. I agree. Guys are usually immune to noticing that unless it's blatant, to be honest. The sexism thing? Maybe. I don't know, man. I'm a pretty sensitive guy, Lord Thoth. I'm pretty sensitive. I don't know. I feel like I've definitely been the victim of like sexism with shit in like my workplace. I definitely feel like I've worked for women, especially like in LA, who were like so sure. Like they were like I'm the boss and I'm not going to let this man. So they end up like treat me like shit because they think like that's showing power. And I'm like, what is with these fucking broads? Why are they being like this? And it's like, oh, I think they're just like, no, we're in charge. And then they won't ask for questions and they won't ask for help. And then it's like they run their business terribly. That being said, though, where I currently work, all three of my managers are women and I respect all three of them. They're all great. I have no complaints about any of them. Like, I don't share their palates. Like, I hate the wine we pick because it's all like extra acidic and sour. And I'm like, oh, these fucking chicks with their citrus and sour palates. Other than that, like, I really respect them. I work hard for them and I do what they ask and I have no problems or complaints at all. So I really don't think it's like a gendered issue. I think it's more of like a character issue, like a personal thing. Like if you're a cunt, you can be a male cunt, a female cunt, just, treat people with respect and they will treat you with respect. I think is typically how it works. I think a lot of people do just expect, though, to just get respect without giving anything back. And it's like, that's flat out not how it works. Morgan Holloway, nah, man, as a tomboy, I'd rather be one of the boys and hang out with those shallow, egotistical chicks with their taggy glitz. That is like the kind of the tomboy girls. I think they tend to have a little bit more like, maybe because they spent more time around guys just as a friend or just doing like guy shit. They don't have that same kind of view of it. That could be. I don't know. Maybe it has to do with like having brothers or something growing up. I don't know. But usually, yeah. I mean, a lot of the tomboys I knew, like they don't really have that kind of issue. Like I don't really ever hear them complaining about their station in life as a woman. I don't know. Then there was that woman, like, who was that? I've talked about this a few times, but it was really interesting. And it like recently came out. There was like I guess she died. I think she killed herself or something, which is like kind of sad. But there was this feminist woman and she like went undercover as a man, to kind of like expose all this misogyny. And then like ended up having a completely different perspective when she was done. Like she went undercover to like exploit how evil men are. And then she came out like being like, no, like men are in pain. We have to have more empathy for men. Like, and then she said like, do you like being a woman like more or less or something like that? She's like, now she goes, no, I like being a woman more because I realize it's a privilege. And I was just like, yo, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, just like, it was like a really fascinating thing to look into. If you guys haven't heard about it, it was, what is her name? Nora Vincent. She did an 18th month experiment. And then she came back with completely different perspectives. Pretty based, pretty badass. Definitely recommend checking it out. Don't be a dick, Papa. You're not one of the boys, though, no matter how butch you are. Just saying. Why you gotta see? You know what? This is that type of rampant sexism that we're talking about. But I don't know why you gotta be like that. Like she's being cool. Whatever. Yeah, maybe you are. Maybe he's just negging her. Yeah, I think you're right, Lord Thoth. I knew you liked Morgan. Yeah, you're just negging her, Pop. Just pulling her ponytail on the playground. Simp. Lady Thoth is my queen. She's a beautiful princess. You treat him right, and they treat you like a king. See, I knew it. I think that's true. My girlfriend definitely contributes a lot to my life, and I try to, honor it as much as I can. Doesn't always work out. I don't always, do my best, but I try to. And, she tries, and, there's definitely things that we both fuck up on. But I think, ultimately, like, our relationship is built on, like, respect and contributing to the other person's life and not taking away from it, which is, more than I can say for a lot of relationships that I've been in that were more like having another job. This isn't quite like that. My girlfriend's actually been really good with helping me with like this stuff with the YouTube. I think she's really embraced it instead of looking at it as like some weird hobby I do, which is great. When you do have someone on your side, like helping you with shit, it's like, it means a lot. It helps. Morgan, I know I'm not some delusional transgender. Nice. At the end of the day, I'm a female married to a man. Yeah, beast. That's right. Dope. Everyone is sensitive. It just depends on what buttons you push with someone. If they show it outwardly, there are women who genuinely believe men don't have feelings because it's not wise to show it. That's a fair point, actually. I don't know if they genuinely believe it, but it's like so often like using those like vulnerabilities that they claim they want really does just count against you. It doesn't really help. And it sort of finds like, it just exposes like a soft spot for them to like stick something in and break it off. Like usually that's like meaner women, but still like they're out there. And men too. I don't know. It just doesn't really like as a dude, I think you should be like in touch with your feelings. Like you should know why you feel something and that you are feeling something, because I think if you don't, like it can really corrupt you. It can create like irrational behavior, dangerous behavior that can really fuck you up. And if you don't know you're feeling something, if you don't know something's affecting you, I think it can mess with your head. But at the same time, like just dwelling on it or exposing it, me, sad me, I don't think carries you much favor at all. And I don't recommend it at all. Okay, Papa Cotton, at least you're not trying to be mean. Don't be mean. Be nice to women, Papa. Okay, show respect. Put your coat over a puddle. You pig. There's not really much more to that women in tech story. I just thought it was pretty funny. Like I said, I think it's ridiculous that even exists. Like I remember that when I was obviously in Hollywood, there's so much of that too. There was so much of like, female in film, like all these like assets and avenues for women trying to get into like the industry and the connections and networks. I'm like, what the fuck about me, man? Like there are like men don't just like see me and they're like, dude, you right here, let's get you a job. Do you not have enough money? Bro, here's a bag of money because you're a man. So you should have all these things. Here you go. You're not just opening the doors for me. I have to work for everything. I have to fucking scrape and claw, for like one extra subscriber on YouTube, just to get enough money to live. And then you see all these like, hey girls, right this way. Here's a golden ladder for you over all these animals. And then the men figure out one way to game the system. They're like, I can't believe it. Oh, it's the worst. Oh, these sexist men. All right. Any other stories I want to talk about today? There's a woman who dropped her iPhone in a toilet and then went to get it, like an outhouse, and then got stuck in there. Bro, not worth it. Not worth it at all. To like climb down, just be standing in human shit. Oh, dear God. For your Apple Watch, I would pay $400 to not have to experience standing in human shit. If someone's like, that's your options. You have to go in that room full of the stench of human excrement and stand knee deep in it. Or you can just pay $400 and not have to do that. I would give you $400 like that. I wouldn't even think about it. So just, oh, well, you lost your Apple Watch. Just get another one or don't. Get a Swatch watch. Like, what? Why would you risk something like that? And then when you get it out of the toilet. Like it's never going to be the same. It's all like, I feel like it would be just covered in shit forever. Yes, Morgan Holloway. Oh, shit indeed. And it did take place in Michigan. Yes, it did. I saw that story today. Give it up. Give it up, man. Like, just let it go. I mean, look, I have a Fitbit. I like my Fitbit a lot. I use it. It helps me with my sleep. It helps with my exercise. It helps with a lot of things. Keeping the time does that really well. But if it fell into a fucking toilet, I'd be like, oh, well, I got to go get another watch. That sucks. I wish I didn't drop it in the toilet. But under no circumstances would it cross my mind. Let me reach down and pull it out. Ugh. There's nothing worse than being like in a porta potty and looking down, just seeing that cesspool. Ugh. Very gross. Very disgusting thing we have to interact with every once in a while. The art right. She's willing to put a piece of shit on her wrist. So, but Hale, good to see you. Are you even old enough to know what a Swatch is? Just thought it was a brand of watch. Is there something more to it? Yeah, just a Swatch watch. I remember those when I was a kid. Just watches. Yeah, they're like goofy, silly, cute. Yeah. I was born in the 80s, Papa. I'm not fucking 22. Oh, I like Apple products, by the way, for the record. And I think smartwatches are actually pretty dope. I forgot where I was going to say. I was going to say something, and it was going to be so clever. It was going to be so brilliant. I forgot. Oh, well. Shitty watch. Did you see, also, the last show I ended on the Canadian Parliament? Your country thought, like, applauding a literal Nazi, like a literal, actual, true blue SS Nazi in the parliament because he fought Russia. No one, I guess, looked into the fact that who fought Russia in World War II. Idiots. But then there were all these articles trying to go around trying to defend it. They're trying to be like, well, not necessarily fighting the Russia in World War II made you a Nazi. And you're just like, no, it did, though. Like, it literally did, though. Like, I'm no fan of Russia. Certainly not the USSR. But it does mean that. It's amazing how, like, hard people will go to, like, cover up, like, blunders, you know, like, especially when it comes down to your side. And I know we say both sides do it, but I feel like the left does it a lot more. But like when the leftists, like when something happens like that, they have to scramble to come up with a reason why actually, no, it's fine that they applauded a literal Nazi. We're not ideologically obsessed with anything our side says. And then we have to come up with articles and explanations. We can't just be like, oh shit, our bad. Yeah, I guess that is stupid that we did that. Yeah, all right. We're not pro-Nazi. But no, there's all these articles coming out trying to like defend it. It's like, you can't be serious. Take the L, man. Take the L. Yeah, I thought that was a nice cope from them. I don't know. There's a bunch of other shit. Nothing really that's all that interesting. Like, I guess Sage Steele like did an interview talking about Biden. She said it was super sad how like Biden couldn't even finish like his sentences. Like it was just this like, oh, it's just kind of pathetic. It just kind of like broke her heart, which I get, you know. I am kind of curious to see what happens in the next election though. Are you guys like curious, you know? I really am like, cause it's like, I don't even think like, I think the left will whatever, you know, whatever their overlords tell them to think, they will think and do. But I think there's a growing part of the middle of the country that really is just like, I mean, this guy, we didn't like Trump, but this guy, he's brain dead. He's absolutely brain dead. I mean, look at him. You know what I mean? This is crazy. So you have that happening. So then you got Trump, right? Like still kind of polarized. I think the right, you know, is kind of trying to favor different options and see what happens. Like I think they want Trump, but they don't want to be all in on Trump in case it doesn't work out. Like they're trying to come out on top no matter what. But Trump's dealing with like all these lawsuits, the criminal charges and all that shit. Like, and honestly, you know, look, I'm not saying there was anything questionable about the last election. I would never even think that. Okay. I definitely think it happened when Trump got elected in 2016. Definitely something questionable about that election. But in 2020, there was absolutely nothing questionable about that election whatsoever in any way at all. Okay. But the next one, this one, I do wonder if maybe there would be something potentially questionable about it. You know, I don't know. But if they did, I don't know. I don't know how it would go. I am just genuinely curious, man. I really want to see how it goes. I think, you know, honestly, I think our best option is Trump. I know he's crazy. I know he's boisterous. I know he's a little unhinged, but I think overall he was a good president, and I'd rather have him than the zombie in chief. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious to see how this all kind of plays out. I'm not like a huge politics guy. I keep like a bit of an eye on it. I think people who talk about it too much, a little lame, a little weird, a little obsessive. It's kind of like, okay, like It's almost like their sports teams, you know, they're really, really invested in like the 49ers. You're like, okay, dude, like all day, 7 days a week, you're talking about this. I mean, don't you have any other hobbies? I think that's a little bit like politics, but I don't know. I'm curious to see what this next election cycle is going to look like. It's coming up. It's like a year away. I don't know. I mean, look, if you're a fan of comedy and you're a fan of memes, you got to be on Trump's side. You got to be. Because it's just going to be more fun. It's going to be way more fun if Trump dog gets in again. Come on. You got to be on the side of that. Also, it's like RFK. I don't know. He's an interesting guy. I kind of like some of the things RFK said, but also like it's the second the Supreme Court was like, actually, maybe we shouldn't really be discriminating against people's like races and genders, and that shouldn't be a legal thing that you're allowed people to get into college with. He immediately was like, no, that's a bad decision from the Supreme Court. I don't like that. And you're like, this is the rebel. This is the guy. He's the outsider. Like, that sounds pretty fucking mainstream take to me. Sounds pretty standard. I feel like we've been getting a lot of that for a long time. I don't know. We'll see. Also, I don't really think he's got a chance. So I think it's like, who does he, if he does run independent, who does he take votes away from? Is it Trump or is it Biden? If Biden's even capable of running again. I think if Biden runs again, it'll kill him. That'll be it. He just won't have to, you know. Although they don't really have to run him, right? The media just kind of runs it for him. They're just like, hey, remember Trump? Remember how bad he was? And you're not a bad person, right? So you'll vote for Biden. Cool. He doesn't have to come to your city. It do be like that, doesn't it, Papa Cotton? I was surprised how quickly neo-hippies turned into warmongers the second Biden's Ukrainian money laundering war started. That is incredible. I mean, goddamn. All I heard about it was like the American war machine and how much, you know, wars for oil and this, blah, blah, blah. All I ever heard. I saw the memes that you see it on this. And then the second, like, this fight appears, all of a sudden there's not enough money and tanks and guns and bullets and war that can go on. It is amazing how quickly that narrative changed. It's almost like you don't have any principles. It's almost just like whatever way the wind blows. Papa Cotton, I can't say that because I don't believe that. I believe all the narrative, except for the 2016 election. That clearly, you know, there's something fishy going on. But no other elections, certainly not. Certainly none where Democrats won. That I know that for sure. I can say that definitely. All right, folks, that's going to do it today for the MFer Podcast number 34. I appreciate you guys watching today. Thank you very much. I hope that you have a wonderful afternoon. I hope that your day goes great. And I hope that you get everything you ever dreamed of. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Keep an eye out for more sketches. Check out the Pride Raptor sketch. If you haven't seen it yet, please watch it. I hope that you'll watch it. I hope that you'll like it. I think it's funny. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. I got another one coming out, hopefully beginning of next week, but that seems probably a tad ambitious. But more work to come. More work to come. More from MFer Podcast to come. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And you guys have a great day. I'll see you on the next episode. Be well. Yeah, good. Yeah, good.